So you finally decided to start selling online. You've heard of Amazon FBA and of dropshipping, but you're just not sure which one is better for you and which way to go. So in this video, I'm going to talk about both Amazon FBA and dropshipping. I'm going to lay down the pros and cons of each. I'm going to talk about what you need to learn to start each of them, and I'm going to help you make the decision that's best for you. Amazon FBA basically means fulfilled by Amazon. So you would send your products to Amazon warehouse. They would distribute it between a few of their warehouses within the country you're selling in. And each time there is a sale, they will ship it directly to the customer. So they also deal with payment processing, customer service, logistics. There isn't too many things you have to do as a seller after you launch. You do need to run PPC ads and keep optimizing them. You need to create a nice converting listing. But this model is fairly passive. Nothing is truly passive, but it's a really great business that is pretty hands-off. Dropshipping, on the other hand, you don't need to buy a product. You need to find somebody that sells the product online in places like most people use AliExpress, and then every time you get a sale on your website or on another marketplace that you decide to sell on, you just buy it from AliExpress and ship it directly to the customer's address. So most people open a Shopify store, then they would find AliExpress products that they can get for fairly cheap, and then they mark up the price to 3-4 times the price they get it on AliExpress, and they take the profit. So let's talk about the pros with Amazon FBA. The biggest one is customer trust. So everybody trusts Amazon. Amazon has got an amazing customer service, probably the best in the world. You get a refund, 30-day money back guarantee, no questions asked. You have a huge collection of products. There are reviews, thousands of reviews for most of the popular products. People love to shop on Amazon. They get free shipping. When you don't sell on Amazon, you sell on your own store. People are apprehensive to make the sale. To purchase, because they don't know you. They don't know if you're going to scam them, if you're going to steal their credit card information. So conversion rates will be lower on those websites. Amazon, on the other hand, people trust it. The conversion rate on average is about 15% on Amazon, and some products even get 30 or 40%, which is huge. On Shopify, a good conversion rate would be 3%. So customer trust is the biggest thing. The second advantage of Amazon FBA is that there are millions of people going into the platform each day to shop. So once you rank your product on certain keywords on the first page, you're going to get a lot of organic sales, which is not going to happen on Shopify unless you've already been selling for a long time and people know your website and they know your brand. On Amazon, you can rank on certain keywords, and if your listing is good and you sell a good product and you got good reviews, a lot of people will buy your product organically. Another advantage to Amazon FBA is shipping time. So Amazon has got super fast shipping time. They've got same day shipping, next day shipping, and customers love that they can purchase a product and get the product on the same day or on the next day. If you compare that to AliExpress and Shopify, shipping time from AliExpress is about 3 weeks. So there's a huge difference, and people do not like to wait that long to get their products, especially in 2021, which basically means that you're going to get a much lower conversion rate if a customer sees that it's going to take that much time for the product to arrive. So the fourth advantage of Amazon FBA is that it's a fairly automatic business model. So Amazon deals with a huge amount of the business that you don't have to do yourself, like I've mentioned, like customer service, shipping, logistics, payment processing. They have the website, so you don't have to maintain a website. You just gotta list your products, create a good listing, do some PPC, and let Amazon do the rest. The fifth advantage of Amazon FBA is you have the ability to do quality control. So when you order in bulk, You can have an inspection service come look at your products, look at the factory that manufactures them, and you can control the quality of your product. And if you want to build a brand that lasts for a long time, that's one of the most important things you can do, because you can sell a bad product for even a year, but eventually the word of mouth and the reviews, they're going to get you, and it's not sustainable. One of the most important things of selling products, not just online, anywhere, is selling good products. The last advantage I have for you with Amazon FBA is you have the ability to private label from the beginning. So private labeling basically means that you create a brand, you create your logo with a name, you design your own packaging, you put the logo on your product, and you can start creating a brand from the get-go. With dropshipping, you're buying products that are already made, they're already packaged, so you can't do that. You can upgrade from dropshipping. If you see that your store is doing well, you can eventually start creating the products and private labeling them, but you can't start like that with dropshipping, and you can with Amazon FBA. So let's talk about the disadvantages with Amazon FBA, and there are quite a few. The first one is there's a relatively high startup cost. So with dropshipping, you can start a drop shipping store with very little money. You don't have to buy inventory. You just gotta create a website, and you can do that fairly easily with Shopify. Upload the products. Obviously, I would recommend creating high quality content, like images, like getting a good copywriter. But you can probably start a dropshipping store with a few $100, and you need some money for ads. But each time you get a sale, you get that money back. So you can probably start a dropshipping store with a budget of $1,000. And with FBA, you need to buy quite a bit of inventory because you don't want to run out of stock. Running out of stock in Amazon is really, really bad. You always want to stay in stock. So not only do you need money for the starting inventory, you also need enough money to repurchase inventory before it runs out, because you're not going to get that money from the inventory in time. And with shipping time, which is about by sea, it's about a month and a half or a month. You need money to restock. So if you were planning to get 1,000 units for $5,000, including shipping, you probably need double that just for inventory to keep the business running. You also need very high quality images. You probably need a very nice video, really good copywriting. Back in the day, you could just upload a product without much work. You didn't have to make it super professional, and you could make a lot of money on Amazon. Today, there's really, really fierce competition. You have to do everything super professionally. So saving money on copywriting, on images, is a bad idea. So I would recommend putting at least $2,000 on images and a video on each one of your products. Get professional people to do. The second disadvantage with Amazon FBA is you don't have customers. You only get sales. Every customer on Amazon is Amazon's customer. So you can't build an email list. You can't communicate to the customers outside of Amazon, and there are very strict rules on what you can say to the customers and what you can ask them, which is really, really bad for long-term brand building, because one of the most important assets of a brand is an audience. The third disadvantage, and probably the scariest one for every Amazon seller, is Amazon can kick you out of the platform at any moment. There are many strict rules that you have to follow on Amazon, and there are many instances of sellers following those rules and still getting kicked out with no answers from Amazon. So Amazon can break your business in a day, which is very scary. The last disadvantage I have for you guys is with Amazon FBA, it takes a lot of time to get into the market. So you have to get samples. Then once you decide on a manufacturer, you got to start manufacturing. that's going to take about 2 to 3 weeks or maybe even a month. After you start manufacturing, you got to ship it to the Amazon warehouses. And that can take, by air it can be quick. By air it costs a lot of money unless you have a very light product. I would recommend shipping it by sea, which can take over a month. And up until Amazon, even when it gets to Amazon, it takes time for Amazon to get the products into their system and be ready for sales. So the whole process can take easily 3 months. So a long time to start. With dropshipping, you can probably start selling in about a few days even. So let's talk about the advantages of dropshipping. The first one is low startup costs. So as I've already mentioned, with dropshipping, you just gotta create a store and you need a decent budget for ads. So you can probably start a dropshipping store and have enough budget for a campaign with $1,000, and you can start getting the ball rolling. So the second advantage with dropshipping is that you don't need to pay for storage and you don't need to bulk ship to the country you're selling in, because all of the products are with the manufacturer and you only ship it to the customer when you have a sale. So only when you make a sale, you would buy from the manufacturer and ship it to your customer. And the last advantage I have for you with dropshipping is you can build an email list and an audience from the get-go. So an email list is super important. It will give you the ability to ask your customers for content that you can use on your ads, like customer reviews, testimonials. You can upsell to your email list. So if you have a complementary product that you're going to launch down the line, you can send an email to all of your customers and give them a certain discount or some other incentive to purchase. So let's now talk about the disadvantages with dropshipping. The first disadvantage is there's not really a way to control the quality. You can get a sample from the manufacturer, but you can't really inspect a big chunk of the stock that they're going to sell your customers. So quality might not be consistent. The second disadvantage with dropshipping is that you can't private label from the get-go. I did hear some manufacturers do allow you to private label each unit before you send it, but it's a very small amount of the manufacturers, and I wouldn't count on it. The third disadvantage with a dropshipping store is customer service is up to you, which I didn't think it's a big deal before I started selling on my own website, but it's a lot of work, so it's going to take a nice chunk of your time. Obviously, you can delegate it down the line, but that's another thing you need to worry about. The last disadvantage with dropshipping is you need to take care of the whole customer life cycle from the beginning to end. So on Amazon, they have a website, they have payment processing, they have a very nice converting website, which they've put a lot of research and money on, and all of that is up to you. You have to build a very high quality website. You have to take care of payments, and you can't save money on these things because conversion rate is super important. If you can double your conversion rate, you literally double your sales. So if you take your store from 1% conversion to 2% conversion, you have literally halved the amount of money you need to put on ads to get a sale. So I see a lot of people making that mistake, and they save money on their website. They just start with a very average website with average images and copywriting. That's a huge mistake. If you want to do this and you want to make money, you cannot save on your website. And if you don't know what you're doing, you got to use professionals. So let's now talk about what you need to know to start doing FBA and start selling on Amazon. So the first thing is you got to learn how to use Amazon Seller Central, which there's a lot of YouTube videos. It's pretty straightforward. So that's the easy part. The second thing you need to learn is you got to learn PPC, specifically Amazon PPC. That's a very big part of selling on Amazon. People that don't do PPC, they're not going to be on top of the search. You got to keep investing money into PPC to keep pushing your products up. I'm not going to talk about exactly how the Amazon algorithm works, but you got to learn PPC in order to be successful on Amazon. The third thing you need to know to start selling on Amazon, and you don't need to be an expert at it, but it's something that you need to understand, is manufacturing and logistics, because that's just a part of the game. You're going to be manufacturing things in China or in other countries. You got to understand what these guys are doing. You got to understand if they know if they're a good supplier, and that they're not ripping you off. You got to understand logistics, which is huge. Not so you can do it yourself, just so you can understand the people that you're working with, and that you know that they're not ripping you off, and that you know that maybe there's another way to do this that is cheaper, that is more effective. And without knowing how these things work, at least on a basic level, you're going to be at a disadvantage and you're not going to be efficient. So the last thing you need to know in order to sell on Amazon is branding and marketing. I don't expect you guys to become pros at marketing and branding very quickly, but again, just like logistics, you can understand the basics. So when you do work with professionals, you gotta understand if they know what they're doing. Again, if they're not ripping you off, and without understanding the basics of what they're doing, how can you know if they're doing a good job? So that's extremely important to understand marketing and branding. So let's now talk about what you need to know to start dropshipping. So the first thing you need to know is have an understanding of the platform that you're going to be using. So whether it's Shopify, Wix, or WordPress, WooCommerce, you got to learn that platform so you can build a nice store, or if somebody is building it for you, at least so you can run the store. The second thing you need to learn to start dropshipping is you need to decide on the platform that you're going to advertise on to get traffic to your website, because nobody's going to know about your website. You're going to have to drive paid traffic or organic traffic if you have a way of doing that. And you got to learn how to get cost-effective, targeted sales from the platform that you've chosen. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Google, you got to pick at least one platform and go with it. So the last thing you need to know to start selling on a dropshipping store. So the last thing you need to know to start selling on a dropshipping store is marketing and branding. Just like on Amazon FBA, you got to understand how to market and brand your products in an effective way so you get the best conversion rate possible. So let's ask the big question now. Which one do you go with? If you're a beginner and you're pretty risk averse, I would go with dropshipping because obviously there's lower risk, lower startup cost, and you can get going fairly quickly. Other than that, I would recommend going Amazon FBA. There's a much higher potential for growth and quick growth and consistent growth from my experience on Amazon FBA. So there's one last tip I want to give you. Whichever way you go, which is extremely important, and I've already mentioned it shortly in the video, is don't save money on the things that matter. And the things that matter is your branding, marketing, and the content that you use. So when I started selling on Amazon, I did the images myself. I only tried to look for people on Fiverr to do things that I didn't know how to do. And you pay for that very quickly. So I might have saved $1,000, but instead of getting a 20% conversion rate, I got a 9% conversion rate because my things just don't convert as well. So I probably lost that $1,000 that I've saved after like a month. So the most important thing that you can do with Amazon or dropshipping or in any e-commerce store is spend good money on professionals that are going to do your images, your copywriting, your videos. Those things are extremely important, and people just don't spend the money that they need to have a high, well-converting website.